My name is John Hall. I'm the MC today. I just happened to wander up here and grab this thing, and nobody challenged me, so it's easy. So anyway, I'm the MC, so I get the opportunity to MC. I also get the opportunity to introduce folks, so I'm going to introduce someone that is very special that we all came to see and hear, but I'm already on the stage, so we'll go with someone else here. So we'll talk with Rebecca. Rebecca I've known for a long time. I've known her all her life, not my life, all her life. I was going to read all of her stuff, but how many hours? We only have a few hours today, so I'm not going to do that. But I'll just name a couple of things. She has an international talk show, Women Transforming Lives. It's a very special thing. So any women who needs their lives transformed, she's one you could talk to. She's on 10 different networks and 12 different channels. She owns these channels. She has a magazine, RHG Magazine TV Guide. That's over 7 TV channels around the world, internationally known. So I'd like to introduce Rebecca. So Rebecca Hall Gruyter. This stays.
Thanks, Dad.
Okay. So I guess I have to get off now. So. Okay.
He'll be back for more, I promise. Let's give him a round of applause. A man I've known all my life and greatly admire, and it's just an honor to get to share him with you today. So I hope you take a moment to connect with him and get to know him. He's a heart-centered, powerful man that walks beside people in transformational ways. So I encourage you to get to know him. And you can absolutely check out the book that he's in as well, Bloom Where You're Planted and Shine. And I'll be sharing a little bit more about Dad as we go throughout our time together today. Well, I am very honored to be here with you as we are ready to spring forward. Are we ready? Yes. Let's make sure. We're going to spring forward. Beautiful. And as I was getting ready for today, I was really thinking about flowers and plants because that's something we associate with spring. And there's something about a seed, knowing what it is, knowing what it's going to become, that digs these roots in deep so that it can grow and shine as it's made to grow and shine. So I think about it as roots and wings. You guys that seen Sweet Home Alabama? That's one of the quotes that really struck me from that movie, that we can have both. And I think it's actually necessary that we have both because we can't do this springing forward, this shining, if our roots aren't there to support us. So today we have a range of things that we're going to cover to help you dig your roots in deep, get all the nourishment you need, and structure and support so that you can bloom and shine powerfully in your life. Does that sound good? Yes. Okay, great. Well, I want to make a couple announcements and run through just a few things that we've prepared to support you. Does that sound good? Yes. Okay, great. In life, we have these moments where it changes or shifts. Has anyone had that kind of a moment? Suddenly what you thought was going to be how the week would flow, there was a shift. And it's a moment that we get to honor, and I want to encourage you to do that. I think Mary's a perfect example of this. She paused. She took a breath. She reevaluated, now that I know this, now that this is going on, how do I choose to be? So I want to invite you, when we have those moments, they can be highs in life, unexpected things, and they can be the challenges or more difficult times. It's so important that we pause. We check in with our roots, with what's important to us, who we are, and how we're becoming. So I celebrate that she honored that and is doing that, and I want to invite us to take that as something to remember when we have those highs in life and we have those challenges, to remember to pause, dig into our roots, and focus in on what's important to us, because slowing down, digging in, actually helps us go further faster, because we do it in a mindful way. We do it in a purposeful way. So today, I invite you to be mindful, be present, remember to pause and breathe, because it's not an accident that you're here today. It's on purpose. That you're sitting at the table you're sitting at, that you're sitting with the people that you're sitting with. A lot of the magic that happens isn't just what happens on the stage. It's the connections you make with each other, that you pour into each other, that you receive. So I invite you to get to know the people at your table, get to know each other. That's what makes the day magical. Does that sound good? Great. So we have folders, if you haven't noticed that yet, on your table. And we give them to you for a reason, so if you could open them. They're not just for decoration. And we have some information in there and tools to support you. So we have note paper in there for those of you who like to take notes. We have our list of events, so you'll see that in there as well, the calendar, and some other programs that are coming up that we want to make you aware of. So I encourage you to make sure you open the folder, take a look in that. And then, how many of you are list people? We have lists. I'm a list person. Rebecca Hall Gruyter, I love lists. Okay, great. So for list people, I have something magical for you. It's called the insert form. It looks like this. Now, those of you who are list people, tell me if this is true. If you do something that happens to not be on the list, do you then go add it to the list and cross it off? Or check the box? So we have something to support you in that. So if you flip to the back, you'll see where there's a list of lines and little check boxes already built in for you. And you can actually put a date when you plan to do that thing. So this is to support you, because when you have a full day of information, you're right there in the moment, but when the event ends, sometimes it can be a little bit of a blur. So I'm going to encourage you to use this to write down key things that you want to take action on, maybe highlights that you want to implement or put into your life. That way you can grab the insert form and it'll give you some great steps that you can take. Does that sound good, list people? Okay. How many of you are not list people? Okay, we've got something for you too. Now, I suspect there are more than that in the room, because the list people were very proud to raise their hands. So we have our more creative, not necessarily linear, non-list people in the room. Let's just do another. Okay, good. Well, I have something for you as well. If you look on the table, you'll see these templates that happen to look like a flower. So we're staying on theme here. If we could pass those around, because this is a powerful tool for you to capture things in a more visual way. No check boxes, no lines that are lined up like a piece of paper that you have to write notes on. This is visual. But there's something really important that we need to put in the center of each and every one of these. Who knows what that is? Exactly, you. You go in the center. All about you. Yay! You can even put a heart around you. Give yourself love and a hug. Right here in the center. And then each of these petals represents part of our day together. So what I invite you to do is, as we go through each petal, each presentation, see what hits your heart, what is supportive of you, an aha, because we're speaking on stage, we're sharing, but sometimes there are even additional things that are spoken to you personally in your heart that blend together with what's being shared. Let's capture that. Sometimes it comes in a picture or a color or however information comes to you. I want to encourage you to use this. And at the end of the day, it becomes a representation of our time together. and we get to start building a garden in our life. Does that sound good? Okay, so it's just to make sure we know the order of the day. What does T stand for? Today. Close. Part of today. Tasneem Moore, would you stand up? One of our amazing speakers. Perfect. Who is here today, so it's perfect. Great, thank you. And then R stands for? Rebecca. Very good, Rebecca. K stands for? Kimmy, Avery. And then I added this other pedal in here. No, there's no J for John. If you want to add a J somewhere on there for John, you are welcome to do that. He's offered. But this pedal I'm calling yes, because I want you to actively look for things today that you're willing to receive, that are supportive of you, that you can say yes to. Maybe yes to being seen, yes to connection, whatever it is, I want you to claim that and build that into your day. Be looking for the yes. I think sometimes we look for the I can't because, I'm not able to because. We look at all the reasons not to, and we forget sometimes to look at the reason to. And look for the other way, the way around, the yes that's going to support us. So I want us actively looking for that today. Does that sound good? Yes. And then GL stands for the Grandmother Legacies. Can I have my Grandmother Legacy co-authors stand? Let's give these ladies a round of applause. These are #1 in multiple categories, international best-selling authors. Let's celebrate with them. Beautiful. Thank you. This is the book that we're highlighting, which is why Dad moved that one to the front today. And we're going to have a special presentation by our amazing authors towards the end of the day. But here's something magical that's happening. I'm into magic today. Remember the registration area where you checked in? Whoosh, it is now magically a book signing table. So starting with our first break going forward, we can have our grandmothers swing by there and they'll be happy to sign your book. So VIPs, that's one of the goodies that you got in your bag is a book. I have already signed them, each with different notes, trusting they will go to the right person that receives them. For those of you who weren't a VIP, so you didn't get a book, we do have them available for a special rate at the bookstore. So I don't want anyone excluded that is interested in that, and that's how you can take advantage of that and meet our amazing authors. Sound good? And then how many of you like extra credit? Gold stars, bonus opportunities, right? Okay, I'm one of those as well. Well, here's the way you can do this. See these leaves? I want you to look for 2 new connections today and have them sign your flower. So then their energy is getting woven with yours. Does that sound good? And extra credit. This is a living, notice it's planted in the ground. So what we don't see are the roots. So what I want you to write in the part below the line, the ground where it's planted, a couple of things that are going to be supportive and nurturing to you and your roots as you're growing deep so that you can shine powerfully. Does that sound good? We're game? Okay, great. And I have more. Now the agenda. So list people, I'm speaking to you probably in particular around this. We like agendas because we like to know what's happening and when it's happening. But then we can get nervous if things get off schedule a little bit. So what I want you to know about this agenda is it's organic. It's living. So it may shift this way a few minutes or that way a few minutes. You will get all your breaks, you will get your full lunch, and we'll end on time. So you can look at that as the order that things are happening and approximate times we'll be doing each of those pieces. But I assure you, we will do everything promised and we will end on time, as long as we honor the coming back on time. Can we do that? Yes. Okay, perfect. Now, I'm into visibility which you're going to learn more and more throughout the day. And I want to share a little bit about why. Because I've discovered if your people, wherever they may be, cannot hear you, if they cannot see you, you cannot help them. So we have to be willing to be seen so we're easy to find, not the best kept secret, but really willing to be seen and heard. And we're going to give you tools and ideas and ways to do that today. Let's take a breath. So we ground in. Beautiful. I claim this as a safe and sacred place for all of you to share, to connect. Perfection is not allowed. Because I've learned it's about connection, not perfection. So know that. And we actually celebrate those differences, those quirks, those quote-unquote imperfections, because I believe we're perfect in how we're made to show and share up as we do in that moment. So here's a phrase to help us stay connected and present. Because has anyone ever experienced this themselves, or maybe someone they know? You're sharing, you're speaking, you're connecting, you can feel everything flowing, and then somehow you say the opposite of what you mean. And then what happens in our mind? Oh my goodness, I can't believe I said that. Our body is still here, but somehow we're having this other conversation, totally disconnected. Now they're not going to believe anything I say, and we're still talking or whatever, and we're just totally separated. We've lost all connection. And what can switch that is remembering that you are so beautiful, even in that moment, maybe especially so. So I want us to remember that. So let's practice this. Oh my goodness, I just said the opposite of what I meant. Okay. You notice how I smiled and kind of leaned in, and I scanned the whole room to take it all in, right? What we do sometimes is they just cut a good angle, like that dialogue continues. We brush it off. When somebody pays you a compliment because they see something wonderful in you, receive it. Take it in. Make the eye contact. Receive that gift and that truth that they see in you. Don't dishonor it and brush it off. Remember to receive it. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's try it one more time. Trip. See, and I smiled really big. It felt really good, like I might do something else to get that again. It feels great. But I want us to embrace this and practice this. Not just for speakers on the stage, but for all of us, because we all have those moments. And it helps us come right back to the present. Acknowledge that and receive. You guys ready to practice? Okay. So remember, eye contact. So find a neighbor, make eye contact, and then say those magic words to each other on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Okay, now let's find another neighbor and let's make it even more powerful. You ready? Let's bring the depth of emotion. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I like it. Beautiful. Energy's rising. Okay, and one more time, because 3 is my favorite number. So one more time, let's make eye contact, new friend, new connection. 1, 2, 3. You are so wonderful. What a great way to start the day, right? Remembering how beautiful and wonderful we are. Great. So I encourage you to share that richly with each other throughout the day. Great. So those are all our official orientation notes. So I wanted to walk us through an exercise. Because I know it's a big deal to invest a full Saturday in yourself, to say yes to you, to be fully present, to be willing to receive. And I want to make sure you get everything that's here for you, because it's not an accident you're here. But what can happen is we can be here in body. We're really good at that. But our mind can be elsewhere. It can be pulled in other directions. We can still be reliving the traffic that we hit on the way coming here, the to-do list. And I don't want any of that to rob you from what is here today, because I want what is here for you to be received by you. So let's take a moment to close our eyes. Take a breath. We're going to take lots of breath today. Our cells are going to be very happy, fully oxygenated. Another breath. Eyes closed. Great. And I want you to think about all those things that are pulling at you. The to-do list, the dishes in the sink, the traffic, what you're going to do starting tomorrow, whatever it may be. And I want you to lovingly gather all of those things together. And we're going to put it in a shiny blue bag for safekeeping with some tissue paper on top containing. And then we're going to take a deep breath and remove this from our room. I will let you know where you can pick it up later when you leave, but it is not on the agenda for our time here together. So I need your help, though, to remove it from the room. So let's take a deep breath. We're going to remove it with our breath. Ready? Take a deep breath. And let's blow it out and remove the bags from the room all the way over. Keep moving all the way. It's a distance to the mall. Lots of room to move around. Air conditioning, entertainment, food. Like it's going to be well taken care of. You don't need to worry. Space to roam. Let's open our eyes and then stand. Because sometimes we remove that first layer and then we move around a little bit and there's some more. They're sneaky. Okay, close your eyes again. Feel in. Beautiful. And let's gather all those other pieces that are pulling at you. Gather them together and let's put them in a heart-shaped, with full of love, but a container. Box. Put all those things in it. Put a lid on it. It has tiny little air holes. You don't need to worry. Okay? But boxes are kind of heavy, and we're sending a distance, so we've got to take a deep breath, maybe even two. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Out the room, out the lobby, across the street, to the mall. Beautiful. Okay, open up your eyes. Have a seat. Wonderful. Now you know where to collect all of those items, and you know they're safe and happy. Are we good? Okay, beautiful. Now we've cleared this space. We have tools to help us throughout the day, which is fabulous. But I also want to give you some mindsets or frameworks to help you as you receive information today. Would that be helpful? Okay. I heard some yeses. Is that helpful? Okay, great. And I'm choosing some mindsets that I actually was taught by my grandmothers in honor of the grandmother legacies today. And one of my grandmothers, her name is Grandma Quinn, she taught me to be present, to be mindful. I am a really good to-doer. I can do it. I can make the list. I can get it all crossed off ahead of schedule because that makes me happy. I like to do that because of extra credit kind of opportunities. And I would push through life, achieving in that way, and push and push and push. And I used to have these conversations with my grandmother. And she'd always pause when I would answer, and we had this great connection to take a breath. And I would share whatever the latest thing. Sometimes it was a high in life, a success, an achievement. And she goes, "Honey, that's wonderful. I'm so proud of you. But remember to pause. Remember to take a breath. Give yourself time to process it on a cellular level. Now, I respected my grandmother. I had a powerful connection with her. But I had stuff to do. Yeah, Grandma. What's going on with you? Wasn't very good at pausing in those highs, even celebrating it. I went on to the next thing. And then I would have those moments where my sister-in-law passed away, or a relationship ended, or something that just stopped me in my tracks. And I would call my grandma, and we would talk. And she says, honey, remember to pause. And in fact, treat yourself like your own best friend. Be extra kind during this time. Give yourself space to process. I was a little better at pausing and listening at those moments when life stopped me. And she ended every single call saying, Rebecca, my health is very fragile. And it was. I could go at any time, which was true. But she would say this and then say, so I want you to make me a promise. A little bit of guilt. Yes, Grandma? I want you to promise me to take care of my granddaughter, which was me. And I would promise every single call. And she started to add in, I can go at any time, but I am at peace. I have loved and been fully loved. But you need to take care of my granddaughter. You've promised me. And then one day, it was our last conversation that she ended in the same way. And years and years, I was a financial advisor, and I got to sit across and with people as they were having the highs in life, the lows in life. Maybe this is the first time they're looking at finances in the middle of that fog. And I got to share my grandmother's advice to be extra kind to yourself, especially in those highs and lows. Pause, breathe, receive, and then step forward. So today, I want you to be mindful. Those connections that you're making, the information you're receiving, be extra kind to yourself. Because how many of you want to learn something new today? Yeah. So let's receive that. Let's be mindful, and let's be encouraging as we learn something new, and embrace it and bring it in and breathe and process it on a cellular level. Does that work? Okay, great. And then I think it's also important, I have another grandmother, and actually this dress reminds me of her, so one of the reasons I wore it today, and that's my Grandma Garacio. Grandma is what Dad has called compressed big. So petite little package, but there's a lot of power. Like, you don't mess with Grandma. Italian. Okay? And powerful and loving and passionate. And there was a time when Grandpa passed away, she moved in to live with us. And I got to know my grandmother as a woman, not just as a grandmother figure. And I got to walk beside her and with her, seeing her in this tender time of learning where she starts and stops again. That now she's no more an us. She's a grandma. She's Grandma Tina. Who is that? How do I start and stop? And here's something that I learned from her. And I learned it in a way, I don't know if any of you can identify with this, like it's something you're embarrassed about. Sometimes those lessons come where we think we're the teacher, and perhaps we're the one receiving the lesson. I don't know if that has happened to any of you before. And here's where she taught me a really powerful lesson. It was in the grocery store. Now, I don't know if any of you know how important bread is in an Italian family to a meal, right? The bread has to be just right. Not too crunchy, not stale, not dry, not too soft. It has to be just right to go with the meal. And so Grandma was particular about what she was going to share with us and the type of bread that we'd bring forward. Now, I was a teenager. I don't know that I valued the bread being as carefully chosen as Grandma did. And in fact, I was really, really shy. Believe it or not, I was really shy and wanted to kind of blend in a little bit. And when we went to the grocery store, I could feel the tension building because I knew what was coming. When we get to that aisle, the bread aisle, and it would start. I can't believe they're serving this. What are they thinking? Oh, kind of bread's tossing here and there, and she's crunching other people's bread, right? Crunch, crunch, crunch. It's not ours. I can't believe they're serving this. What are they thinking? This is not acceptable. So I'm softly trying to find the appropriate bread so we can remove ourselves from the store and go forward, and I'm hoping no one's watching. So I finally thought, I need to tell Grandma that we can't go around squeezing other people's bread. Like, that's just not done. It's not our bread. Grandma must not have learned this somewhere along the way. And when you love someone and deeply admire and respect them like I do for my grandma, it's hard to confront them, right? And so I pulled my courage up. We're at the front of the store now. It's before we got into the line. And I said, Grandma, I need to share something with you. She looks at me. Total, again, compressed, big power and energy. Grandma, we can't squeeze other people's bread. It's just not done. It's not our bread. We can't keep doing this. And it was like all the energy in the room shifted. There was this pause. And it was like she pulled up her energy. This is the only way, she didn't have to do that, but I do to kind of capture it. And she goes, what are they going to do? I'm the grandma. That's an empowered woman. And I took that one, I thought, she's just not going to get it, turn bright red, and let's leave the store. But later, I looked back at that moment, I thought, she just taught me a powerful lesson of really embracing who we are. Too often, we ask for permission. We wait for somebody to say, yes, you can show up that way. Yes, you can do that. Why don't you try this? You can now be seen. I want to invite you instead to lean in, find out where you start and stop. Claim who you are. My grandma has affected generations. You can talk to any of my cousins, nieces, anyone in the family, and you can do this. And they will finish the sentence. What are they going to do? And they claim it. Really powerful. So I want us to, as we are stepping forward and we're stretching and we're trying out more of who we are, let's claim it. Let's have a little sass with it, a little power, a little fun, and stretching and sharing who we are. Does that sound good? Let's try it, real time. Stand up. Warm up your wrists, no wrist injuries. Okay? On the count of 3, choose a hip if you want to do a hip. And then you go, okay. What are they going to do? You can, and claim yourself, not my grandma, but okay, let's try the other hip. Let's get this all worked out. 1, 2, 3. What are they going to do? Okay, and let's do both wrists. Let's really make this count. 1, 2, 3. What are they going to do? I'm the fabulous. This is another thing we can share. You can go ahead and have a seat. Go ahead and have a seat. Now, I have an executive producer for my radio show named Robert. And I didn't know he'd been watching my shows, and I had shared this on one of them. So I call him up one day, and I go, hey, we're talking about things. He goes, what are they going to do? I'm the Robert. So it's contagious and a great thing to share. I invite you to do that. Beautiful. And then I have one last piece that'll help us as we are taking in information, as we're receiving, as we're being mindful, and we're stepping forward and stretching and claiming more of who we are. I want us to really shine. I mean, really shine. be seen. And we're going to have moments where you'll get to stand up and be introduced and share yourself, a little bit about you and what you're wanting to bring forward in life. And you'll have these moments where the spotlight can be on you. And sometimes we don't know quite what to do with all of that attention. So I have a solution for you. And you can do this whether the spotlight hits and you shy away or the spotlight hits and you lean in. You guys want to know? Okay. So this is something, and I share this sometimes, my cat Nina taught me. Nina knew how to make an entrance. Of all the cats I had, when Nina would come in the room, she pranced silently. And then she'd wait a moment to be seen, tail up, and she would just wait and wait. And if you didn't acknowledge her, she would chirp. She didn't meow, she chirped. She would chirp, like, I'm here, ta-da. And I would go, hi, Nina, and then she was fine, and she would go about her cat business. She did this every single time she entered a room. I don't know what she did if I wasn't there. I don't know what happened then. But I thought it was really an interesting behavior. So I thought, I'm going to try this out. So I work from home a lot, and some days I will wear a ball gown with everything sparkly I own, just because. Cowgirl hat. Other days I might be in the pajamas with the facial. Those are not always my husband's favorite day to come home to me, the green goop on my face. So he's learned to roll with it, not quite know what he's walking into every time that he comes home. Through our years together, he's learned this. And I thought, well, let me see how he receives this. So I waited till he got home, and he's doing some things on the computer. He's focused. So I come down the stairs. My office is upstairs. And I was looking good. I had taken some extra time. So I kind of let him see me. And I wait. He doesn't notice me. I wait. And it felt like a really long time. So I thought, what would Nina do? Well, I don't really chirp. So I thought he needs a little extra training like I did. So I go, ta-da. He goes, oh, hi, honey. I said, still not quite the reaction I was going for. Don't I look good? He goes, yes, honey, you look great. So I figured we needed a little more practice on this, so we kept this up. And then one day, he came up the stairs, and he was looking good. And he had his hat on, just for a little extra style. And he goes, and I didn't notice him at first because I was focused. And he goes, and he does this. I do this. He's more. He goes, hey, honey, don't I look good? It's contagious. I thought, yeah, so it became a really fun thing that we do. And then I discovered, you know what? You don't even need anyone there. You can greet yourself in the mirror. And I do that, especially on a day I might be dragging a little. I go to the mirror and I go, ta-da, I have arrived. Let the day begin. Or the day may now begin. It depends on the mood I'm in. And I find it instantly raises my energy. I smile and I show up more powerfully. There's something magical about in that moment claiming it, because I can tell you when the picture time comes, people have their cameras, they're going to take the picture anyway. And the duck away never looks very good. And it's a weird facial expression, and they're going to post it anyway. So I have learned, lean in, embrace the moment, smile, and fully shine. Makes a much better picture, and it's a lot more fun. So let's try this. Let's stand up. This is an interactive day. We're going to try and build we're going to build our ta-da muscle. Does that sound good? And you can even prance if you want to. 1, 2, 3, ta-da! Let's do the other side. 1, 2, 3, ta-da! Okay, third time. You know how this works. My favorite number. 1, 2, 3, ta-da! You look beautiful. Wonderful. So remember to be willing to be seen and shine. Embrace those moments. And I promise you, when that microphone comes, you're not sure what to do. What do? Exactly. And we'll smile and celebrate with you. Sound good? Okay, perfect. So we have some mindsets, we have some ways that we can embrace information and we can show up powerfully today. And I would love for us to take a moment and set an intention. Because I've also learned with being mindful, we also want to be on purpose, which means we kind of need to know where we're going. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's take a moment and kind of center, take a breath. Beautiful. Close your eyes. Put one hand on your heart, one hand on your head, bringing all of you in, mind, body, soul, and spirit. Okay, breathe in through the nose. Make your belly as big as you can. Breathe into the belly and breathe out through the mouth, like through a straw. Side note, that kind of breathing, this kind of breathing, make sure you keep breathing. Lowers your cortisol levels, reduces stress, and brings you very, very present. So keep breathing. And in this space, what is it that you need? What is it that will support you in springing forward, helping grow your roots to grow, blossom, and shine? What is it that you need and are willing to receive? Just see what that answer is, that information. It can come in words, sounds, phrases, memories, textures, all of our senses. What is it that you need and are willing to receive? Beautiful. So once you have that information, come back into the room. Another big breath. Okay, open up your eyes and write it down. It's really easy to forget, to get distracted. And then we can sometimes miss the very thing we needed right in front of us because we forgot. And I'm going to encourage you as you write this down to be open to receiving it in whatever way and form it comes. Don't be attached to the how. We can be surprised in powerful and beautiful ways, even bigger, even more right than we would have even created on our own. Be open to receiving. I just have a little share about this. I was thinking as we were getting ready for today, just an example of how in our everyday life we can know what we need. People can even share it with us and we can say no. Has anyone ever known of someone perhaps that has done that? So as we're getting ready for the event, a lot of times we need help and support because it takes a village to create an event in a space like this. And I got a call from a friend of mine, my BFF, and she calls me up and she says, Rebecca, you've really been on my heart. I've been watching the emails and the information and I really want to help. I really want to be a part of this and help your event, not as a guest. I want to be there and help and support if you need me. Do you need help? And it's so easy to say, no, I've got it under control. We're okay. It's so easy. And I even felt that. I didn't share that with you. I even felt that coming up because I didn't want to be a burden or put anyone out. And yet that was on my list of what I need to bring in, that right support, the right team, so that we can really have our attendees be fully supported. And so I caught that little thought and I said, yes, we would be so honored. Thank you. I'm willing to receive that. And she was so excited. And here's a couple of things in this. So not only did she have it laid on her heart, but she took action. She reached out, she shined so that I could know how she could help me. And then she offered. And I had the opportunity to say yes or no. And I said yes. And I'm so grateful and thankful that she's been able to be here today and help us. And I want you to think about these moments, because many of our helpers today, Andy and Elda, the same kind of thing. Like, they're reaching out, Jean, so many, reaching out and saying, can I help? Can I be a part of this? We have that every single day in our lives. And so often, we don't receive. We've got it all under control. I don't need help, or we don't even say what we need help with. So I'm going to encourage you to stretch in this a little bit, because it's really easy to keep not receiving, to keep trying to do everything on our own. And here's another truth I have learned. Life is not a solo journey. I don't know where that rumor got started either, but it's just not true. We don't have to do it on our own. So be willing to receive the support that comes in. So that intention that you wrote down, I want you to look at it again. What it is that you need, and you said are willing to receive. You already put it through that filter. Because I'm going to give you an opportunity to share it, to be heard, to be seen, and to let us as a community lift you up and support you in that. You can share on whatever level you're comfortable with sharing, absolutely honoring that. We are not filming this part, so you are safe. It is just for us here, but we do ask that you use the microphone so we can all hear you clearly. And this is an opportunity to claim it out loud, to let us energetically support and lift you up in this way, because you're not alone. We're here with you, forming a community today, a beautiful garden that I want, and I hope each of you want, to thrive, to powerfully grow, to bring each of your gifts forward. But we need support of each other to do that. Does that make sense? Okay. Wasn't it wonderful to hear a little bit from every person and some of what was laid on their heart? And I heard some similar things, some different things. We have a whole range of intentions. So let's take a moment and just connect and ground again. Beautiful. I heard that as an intention, so I'm going to do my utmost to support that throughout the day, that pausing and breathing. And I want you to take a moment. Actually, let's stand. Can we stand to do this? I feel like we need to stand for a moment. Good. And then I want you to think about your intention that you shared. Maybe it's deepened, expanded, evolved. Sometimes there's more, oh yeah, me too, as we go around and share and connect. So I want you to take a moment and just kind of hold your intention in your heart. Breathe it in deeply. And then breathe it out into the room. Picture it supported, mingling with everyone else's intentions, creating this rich, delicious soup. And let's breathe that in, that mixture. Hold it in our hearts, send it love, support, a hug. Send it back out into the room. Let it mix further. Something about soups, the longer they sit and mix, the deeper, more delicious they become. So then let's breathe that delicious mixture in. Support, love, energy. Breathe it out. So as we go through our time together, you can breathe that beautiful mixture in. It's going to get more rich with more depth as the day goes forward. So I invite you, anytime you need a little grounding, you need a little support, pause. Breathe it in, hold it within your heart, within your spirit, and then breathe it out again. Okay, go ahead and have a seat. Are you a speaker looking to reach more people with your message? You have a global vision that you want to touch the world and make a global difference. If so, I have an amazing opportunity for you. It's called the Speaker Talent Search. Again, that's the speakertalentsearch.com. You'll find all the details, but here are the highlights. With one application process, you get clarity on your message. You get to fine-tune how you want to reach the world. Then you'll have everything ready in one place for the opportunities when they come. Second, we select you as a finalist. You get to come in and audition with a 7-minute audition, open up the door to hundreds of speaking opportunities. I hope you lean in. I hope you say yes. We would love to hear your message. Help you touch the world powerfully. Again, that's the speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your powerful message. Hi, I'm Rebecca Gruyter, and I am the producer of the Empowered Connections TV channel. And I wanted to personally invite you to come on over, enjoy our amazing shows. We are all about empowering women. We're all about transforming lives. We're empowering men to really step out and be all they can be. We are looking for programming and shows to bring things to the next level. So if you are somebody that feels a show birthing within you, you have a calling to bring your show to life and touch the world, please reach out to me. I'd love to have a conversation with you. We are launching new programs and shows every week, every month, because we're going to change the world. I look forward to talking to you.